This will be a quick overview of the Retention Manager module in Application Extender to go over how you set up retention policies and how you can manually apply those policies and maintain them in the Application Extender web user interface. To start with, you want to open up the option called the RM Configuration Utility or RM Administrator. It's a program that gets installed to the local desktop at the time of your using the system. Once you click on the utility, you'll see a screen brought up just like this. And from here, you're going to select the data source that you have. Generally, there's only one in the system. And you will log in to it. I'm using General Administrator here. Once you hit Next to log in, you select the application that you'd like to apply retention to. In this case, I'm going to be using this RT Demo one right here. It is important to know that applications can be set up in the Application Extender Administrator to have the retention module enabled. Otherwise, you won't be able to apply retention policies to these. So when you click Next on the application and it has retention enabled, then you will get a screen like this. And there are two different options here. One is to do automatic retention policies, so policies that are applied as soon as documents come into the system, or manual policies that you can have to allow users to select a policy from a list. To start with, we're going to focus on the automatic retention policy. So you can see right now I don't have any rules. And in order to fix that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to add a new rule. This will let you create a new policy. And once you've created that policy, you can hit OK. You notice here there are there's the option to have multiple policies at the same time, and you can actually reorganize them in case you want different automatic policies to be applied. So we created a rule, and now we create the policy. And this is where we really are setting up the retention part here. So we have an option to give it a name. In this case, I'm going to call this 90 days. And there's three different ways that you can apply. You can have it expire at a very specific date and time, regardless of when it came in. You can have them expire within a certain period or of days or years. You can have it use an index field to actually work off of there. So for example, if you have an invoice that you want to keep for 60 days, this is where you would point to that date field, and then you could actually have it 30 days, 90 days, 60 days from, or however many days, 120 days from whenever that date is set. And then you can also have permanent retentions. These are items that are constantly kept into the system, can't be deleted. In our experience here, we're going to just go with a simple 90-day policy. And you can't have spaces. So now that you've got the policy, you can hit OK, and then that'll bring you to the field like this. So this is a place for you to apply a query to the rule to determine how it gets applied. If you run just a blank query, like this one, there's no documents in my system, but this would apply to everything. Yeah, so it wants you to put something in, and so you can do something like that. So for example, if you wanted to apply it to a specific document type, like invoices, you could put that in, and that would apply to all the items that come in as invoices. You cannot do a general application or a general rule all the way across. It has to be applied to something, and that's where you would want to maybe have multiple retention policies if you had multiple items that are multiple document types or multiple items that you wanted to be applied to. So that's the automatic policies. Now, for manual policies, they work almost the exact same way, and you have access to the same rules and policies that you created before. that you can have people select from. But this is going to work almost the exact same way. So we'll call this permanent. And this way you can now give them the ability to just apply a manual, like permanent policy to the system. And you can, if you select this box, this will allow people who have that retention user to overwrite what the default policy is, which is our new policy up here. You apply those settings. Oh, and yep, and it wants you to make one of these manual ones permanent, so or default. So you select the make default, and then you are good. So that's creating and applying the retention policies to the system. But once you've done that, there's some other things you can do. So we're now over in the web extender sort of interface here, and there are no documents in this system at this moment in time. But what I do want to show you is one of the ways that you can interact with the systems. If you have the right permissions, you'll see this retention administration policy here. This is where you would go when documents have been, their retention policy has expired, and it's time to be able to delete them. So as an administrator, you have the option to come in, look at all the documents that are up for deletion, and decide if you would like to delete them here or not.
Interested in what CASO can do for you? Subscribe to our channel now and check out these videos.